The world of company secretaries. Welcome to a new episode of The World of Company Secretaries. And today's guest is CSS Dhanapal. CSS Dhanapal is a practicing company secretary based out of Chennai in India. CS Dhanapal sir has been practicing for more than 19 years. So he is a company secretary, he is a registered valuer, he is an insolvency professional, and he is also a lawyer by qualification. So this is the wonderful experience he has, and still he calls himself a practicing company secretary for the love of the profession, and his firm CS Dhanapal and Associates is having more than 40 people which is working under their wings, and the firm is around 19 years old. So this is a very big firm with a rich experience, and we are happy that in this episode of the World of Company Secretaries we will be talking to CSS Dhanapal and understanding all the wonderful experience which he had. And what I really like about him, he's extremely down to earth, very simple, always willing to help, and very humble person. Before we go ahead and talk to him, we should have a little understanding about his background and what he's doing right now. As I told you, he's a registered valuer, insolvency professional, lawyer, and practicing company secretary, and his firm is dealing in multiple matters. Besides this, he has served the ICSI at the SIRC level. He was in the SIRC Council, and he has done wonderful initiatives during his tenure. What is really interesting about CSS Dhanapal sir is that he loves to write, and many of his books are very easy for professionals to follow. Whether it is LLP made easy, whether it is the Companies Act book or the handbook which he has made, or guidance on the NCLT matters, on the insolvency matters. So all these books are having wonderful procedures, and also he makes it very easy for the reader to understand, and his contribution has helped many people with the way of his books. He is a member of the Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, the Madras Management Association, the Tamil Chamber of Commerce, and the Chennai North Study Circle of SIRC of ICSI. Besides that, he is very active, and you can see him as a regular face on Tamil TV channels, on the FM radio, and he's also written many articles in the reputed newspaper which is the Hindu. And sir is always willing to help. He even has a Facebook group and every other social media he is using in the best way, including a YouTube channel where he shares his views, which will help lot of students and members and everyone connected to the CS profession. He's a very positive person. I'm very eager to go and talk to him. So let us join him in the interview on this episode of the World of Company Secretaries. As I told you in the introduction, we have CS Dhanapal sir. We are very happy. So first of all, sir, thanks for coming on our show, The World of Company Secretaries. Thank you very much, sir. So this will be a very exciting interview. I am already ready for it because I've been attended sir's different seminars in Chennai or Mysore or other places. It's going to be really great. So sir, first thing on our World of Company Secretaries, we try to get an understanding of the guest about what they're doing now. In your case, you're a practicing CS. So if you can tell us what all you're handling now, then we can go to the other parts of the interview.
Yes. In fact, as you are aware, you are also a practicing company secretary. So, of course, many students will be, watching this. Probably for their benefit, we can tell what are the things that could be handled and what I am handling as of now, as a practicing company secretary, so that it will be useful to the student fraternity also and budding members also.
Sure.
See, in our firm Dhanapal and Associates, in fact, we take care of all secretary related compliances and all filing related matters, and more specifically, if you want to tell, we do handle a lot of NCLT matters. NCLT matters, more particularly on schemes, a scheme of amalgamation, mergers and demergers. And apart from this routine secretarial matters, we also give advice on insolvency matters and other connected corporate law matters. And apart from that, I would rather say that apart from secretarial matters, we handle legal matters as long as related to corporate related or any management dispute kind of thing. So these are the main areas of our practice.
Okay, sir. So now the as you told, you're handling different areas of the secretarial matters and also NCLT, and you're also an insolvency professional. All these feathers in the cap you have, I also told in detail in the introduction. But that is about today, sir. But there was a day when you did not know about company secretary course. So how did you first get to know about this course, and what made you take this course?
Yeah. See, if you see, I started the whole process by in the year 95, 96. Um, uh, After finishing my become graduation only, I started this particular course. So, if you see that, parallelly, I was doing law graduations also. So I was doing a full-time law graduation, that too five years integrated course, which we call as BA BL. Today we call it as LLB, BA LLB. And, we call it in America Government Law College in Chennai. It has got many places in Tamil Nadu. So it's a BA BL. So I was doing 5-year law course, and parallelly I was thinking that this CS profession, and in fact I came to know through one of my friend, where my friend's uncle, he was doing some CS course. In fact, those days nobody knows what is CS, including me, right? And I'm saying about the 1995. Okay, probably today almost entire world knows us, because that level we have improved and we have proved also, and we keep handling subject and advisors also. So everybody knows, almost predominantly corporate sector now knows the company secretary. But in the year 1995, 96, you see, very few people, we can count very few people maybe knowing that. Probably those days, people are aware of Chadakunan course, because when I was doing my higher secondary, many of my friends were that time itself, they were preparing for foundation. Okay, that time itself I never heard CS that time. No one was talking in my own, I'm saying the class, I'm saying, where people used to talk on more on CA course, and they were keep preparing for CA course. Those time itself, that CS never came into picture in those student age itself. So, but fortunately, after completion of my graduation, basically I am also a marine engineer. I don't want to take much time on that side. So, some time I spent and I passed government exam as a radio officer. Okay, I passed the examination of the radio officer. So that suddenly got switched over by government, but due to some policy decision, it became electronic. No longer radio, physical form, it's electronic form. So they done away with the entire, course as well as the position, and introduced a new course for that. So my entire 2-3 years effort gone waste. By then, I was reading almost the final year subjects of engineering, electronics. Fortunately, I was parallelly doing graduation, BCom also, by through a correspondence mode. So that is the only thing which helped me, to stay in my the area of commerce, I'm saying. Okay, otherwise I probably directly one cannot jump from a marine engineering to corporate side or commercial commerce side. So fortunately, I was parallelly completing. In fact, if you try to know my experience while reading, morning I was reading engineering subject for marine engineering. Evening I'll be reading accountancy for BCom. I don't know anybody would have done this way, but I don't know. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was made to do that. I have to say God has made me to do that. So fortunately, one has helped me, like BCom. So that this marine engineering didn't help me, because the entire course curriculum got changed, position itself got changed. Even after passing government examination, I couldn't pursue that after spending 2-3 years time. So I thought, okay, enough. Engineering side is enough. So let me come to the commerce. Anyway, I was parallel doing commerce, and I was clearing the subjects also on time. So then someone told me, why don't you take up a law? In fact, not someone, I should say. The people who are doing marine engineering with me, radio officer, we all quit in the group as about 50-60 people we quit in Chennai. So those people were joining law. Okay. 3 years course, all that. Then one of the fellow was telling that now I'm doing law. Why don't you? Then okay, I think we have this way also we can try to work. Anyway, this is not going to work anymore. Let's change our area and get into the new area. Why I'm telling this story? The students today I'm seeing, just by a small failure, they are losing their heart.
Exactly, sir.
I keep telling my own trainees, I keep nearly more than 10 trainees under my firm. We are about 35, 40 size of firm, including qualified company secretaries under me. And I keep almost more than 10 trainees. I keep tell people, don't lose your heart. It's only one time. In fact, we have been victimized in so many ways, and skipping the line of domain itself, like engineering to commerce, I'm saying. Then after that, seeing so many other challenges in that. So today people are just like giving attempt and losing their heart. There's nothing to lose heart. It's a professional course where we have to see that till we are getting through, we have to do. That is the one line that we have to keep it. Just like any other civil course, civil examination, or any other course. Of course, since you are telling that this channel is more watched by students, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
I thought I can pass on this message to
Correct.
students. So the student really should understand that something you get quickly, then it won't have a value at all. Today, you know, so many courses you get quickly. Will it have a value today? No. So that means the time that we spend, the knowledge that it demands, and challenge that it put, all that is going to give a wonderful result in future. That's how the whole structure, course, all is framed by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India.
Okay.
So I was literally, since I got a clue that law can be done, okay, I joined law. Then immediately I thought, okay, I was focusing bigger in life always, till now, even now. Even now, I'm trying to see what big can be done, big things can be done in my life. Okay, we're not achieved anything so great that comparing to so many other people, in the world. So what I was thinking that time when I was started the law, I thought, okay, better to go into corporate side. At that time only, I know somebody was telling that some CS course which is relevant to law, all that. In fact, only through one friend I told and there's no other person to cross check. We not even know some institute exists that time, and there's no Google. Today, you see anything you put, okay, how much salt to put into pickle itself, you can get an answer in the Google today. Somebody, while cooking itself, they can put the Google and check with them how much salt should be put. That's how much quantity. So that's much handy today. And I have to say that the students and the other budding people are, they are so blessed today that there are a handful of information in front of them actually. There are a handful of information in front of them where 1995, we not even know to talk to the people and understand what it is. And is it there something like that?
Yes, I think what story you're sharing is quite inspiring, because like you said, completely unconnected field of marine engineering. Then the technology changed over there, the job and those things could not happen. Then LLB plus CS. So though you got into kind of accidentally, I can say it was not complete planned approach how you got into CS. But today you're having a big firm, more than 30, 40 people in the entire firm. You've been working with top companies, listed companies. Then also you have served the institute at the SIRC level.
Yes.
So this will be a great inspiration for everyone watching it, that though there was a day where you did not even know CSN was doing marine engineering, it can be a great profession. Like you said, if you keep working hard, I'm sure we'll get the benefits in the long term. Sir, now that you took CS, can you tell a little bit about the student days? Because like you were telling, many students lose heart by failing one attempt. That too, they have not have studied properly and they would have failed. Not that they studied well. So your student days, can you tell some anecdotes or some experiences when you were a student?
See, in fact, one thing only students should understand. Okay, if they understand that, then that will be helpful for them throughout the life, not only for CS course. So, see, the effort never fails, though it looks very, usual, this thing, but that's a real word that we have to take it in our mind. The effort that never fails at all. And one more thing, the hard work, that is the one word that we have to keep it in mind. Whoever it is, irrespective of any field for this matter, that of course, obviously, CS also for that matter. Your hard work alone is going to really give wonderful result to you. So it is not that, as I was telling just before, that we were given an attempt and we couldn't get through. Okay, there may be 100 reasons for that. We can't understand what is that 100 reason. There is no point of criticizing subject, curriculum, because there are so many hundreds of students are passing it. See, I always tell people that don't criticize anything, even my own trainees or even any other people. Even today, somebody criticized me. I recently passed during the COVID the register value examination.
Okay.
In fact, since we have been in the lockdown, we are completely locked. Actually speaking, locked inside the home. So nothing could be done. Fortunately, this online training came for evaluation. So I made use of the time of 5 months exactly, and literally studied how I studied for CS, almost like a CS. I literally studied, and 5 months I could come out with the flying colors. Okay, pass is a important thing on that. There is no state, all that state first, state two, and all. Only
Correct.
pass, that itself is a big real challenge. Only value examination, I'm saying. Just like in an insolvency professional examination, another category now recently, you know that. So like that, what I'm trying to say, it is only effort that we have to put. We can't simply criticize. I always tell people who are saying that no, this is a tough my valuer examination who was writing, or insolvency examination, or CS examination, who are writing, don't say it is tough because somebody else is passing. See, somebody is able to do outside. That means we should understand something is missing in us. What is missing in us, whether it's approach or whether it's a focus or the way we put it, the things in the answer sheet, something, okay, something that we have to improve. So I always tell my own trainees and even other students, nearly some 100 trainees would have got trained under me, and half of them must be in practice now. Okay, so I'm there in the field last 15 years in practice. So predominantly many trainees have gone out, and fortunately they are in trainees practicing also. And few people are in employment and many people are in practice today. So that level, the practice side has got improved today.
Yes.
So what I suggest always students, don't lose heart. Only one thing that you have to keep it in mind is you have to prepare for examination till you clear. That is online. There is no point that this time I could not clear. Otherwise, I'll tell you one more thing. Suppose if you say that no sir, it's a very general thing that anybody can say that till passing examination we have to read. That's a common this thing. Okay, I will give alternately one more thing. Okay, otherwise you try to do one more thing. What is that? You try to focus on getting a state first. Okay, I tried it. I'm not telling you that which I have not tried. Okay, please understand. Just for the sake of deliberating something, I'm not telling. In fact, I could came out the final examination of CS both group. That time is so difficult, not like today. Actually speaking, very difficult that time in 1999 in December. Both attempt in single attempt I cleared. I was literally I was happy, but only thing is I was targeting for a rank that I couldn't get a state level rank, which my own friends we were trying all that. So what I am trying to say, if at all you say that no sir, that anybody can say that till passing examination we have to read. That's a common phrase that anybody can say. But what I could say, okay, you do one thing. If you want to clear in the first attempt, or if you want to see that you don't want to see any failure in CS examination, target getting state first, or at least getting 1 to 3 of state first. Target that. Don't read for passing examination. Then you see. But I won't say that no, keep it mind state first, but read for passing exam. No, please give your full heart. Give your full heart. If you are going to write first time all the groups, then there's a possibility of getting a state first and test two, second, third, all that, right? Why don't you give an attempt if you are really so confident and want to break through first time? Keep it in your mind that you have to come out state first this time. Whatever it happens, then you see you are coming out. Then your worry would be that rank only, not clearing. So either you should be in that side or you should be in this side. Another side is that we have to always ensure that we are under preparation till we clear the examination. There is no other a question of reading important questions and this, you follow any approach.
Yes.
But end of the day, you should clear the examination. Till that, you
Correct.
should be under the preparation and give a full attempt with the full heart. That's the only way a examination could be cleared.
Yes, sir. I think what you're saying really all the students will like it. That is, hard work will really give you the results. And like you said, effort. Just put the effort and result will come definitely. And never give up the hope. Keep doing the exam. Sir, can you tell us about your training days? Like now you may have 100 trainees who passed out from your office. But when you were a trainee, where did you do it and how was those days?
Yeah, see, I was doing on senior company secretary who is also doing practicing Mr. K. Krishnamurthy is in Chennai. So I was really learning a lot, no doubt at all. And of course, that is the what to say that that's a platform where net what we say we call it as a net coaching, right? Net coaching. Yes, before going to the match, people have a net coaching, right? Like that. That training was really wonderful. In fact, I always tell my trainees also whenever I get a chance to advise them. I tell them that please, whatever you do, keep always the barrack with you, and don't simply come and ask like a story, telling a story. Don't say like that. We are a company secretary and that a compliance officer, so we are in a position, responsible position to advise the world, particularly corporates. So that means then anything we talk, we should only talk with the figures, facts and figures. Means that any provision that we are talking, we should be in a position to establish that why we are talking, on what basis we are talking. That's more important. So those days in my training period, if you see, I was literally so anxious. In fact, I have to say that after completion of my law graduation, okay, before completion of my law graduation, I finished my final CS in 99 itself. My law graduation got over in 2000.
Okay.
2000 March, April, it got over. But before that, before that 99, I told you that December 99. In that itself, I cleared both the groups of final, so I am ready. Only thing is training was pending. But my law was pending a 5th year. So I thought, okay, let's finish the law. Means I have to finish because I should not get into training before finishing it. It's a regular course. So I finished the law. Then after finishing the law, after finishing CS, I went into 1 year training. In fact, after finishing both only, I went into 1 year training. So I was having so much anxious that to learn more things. In fact, the training, I think today little I could see the that lacking in the students in learning. Today students are showing more interest that okay, let's finish the training. But those days, it's not that what I'm talking literally what I was literally doing. I'm saying I never thought that when my 1 year will get over. It's at that time it's 1 year training. Okay, 1 year with the PCS and 3 months with the it's a corporate. Any company we can go and 15 days with the rest of companies. So that 1 year I was literally never was thinking that when my 1 year will get over. I was literally thinking the other way around. What did I could learn in that 1 year? Because only I got 1 year time to learn. So maximum that could be, we should learn in that 1 year period. So what I used to do is whether my seniors gives any opportunity to handle anything, because I was very raw that time, very fresh person, a professional that time. So generally, any seniors may not have a confidence to give to any fresh CS to handle it. Yes. So few things he used to give, few things he may not. So I was searching and trying to read and understand, see that that maximum learning during the training period with the PCS. Then after that training period, in 3 months training, I have done India Cements Limited. You must be knowing India Cement Limited. Fortunately, I had a very nice senior people there, Mr. Sridharan and Mr. Balakrishnan. Mr. Balakrishnan was a company secretary, India Cement. He was literally a very nice and knowledgeable person. Yeah, though I was a student, means after even passing, I was learning the subject in the training. So, but he never treated me like a student because I always keep talking subject. So he always encouraged some. That the maturity will be up to the level of that age. Okay, so Those days we talk more on subject. We always say, no, what you are saying is wrong. So in fact, I never see he is losing his patient and say that no, you keep quiet. No, they listen to me. In fact, during that training, every week they used to have a weekly meeting to discuss subject about 5-6 hours. The entire secretarial department where I was taking training, about 10 company secretary qualified people was there at that time. So in that the department only I took my training. So in a weekly meeting, they were so generous, they allowed me inside in the meeting. Means I was part of a meeting. So because they have seen the interest that I shown in the subject. So literally, otherwise generally they need not to allow that to a trainee who is taking 3 months training in a corporate meeting where all CAs are discussing or taking a decision on that. But I mean, though I'm not involved in taking decision, but on subject matter I was involved, and they used to take my inputs and debate also and correct me also if need be. Literally, I got. In fact, I would say that this training period is a time where one can really learn and capitalize. That is going to assure the rest of the life for the CS, whether it is a practice or employment. But nowadays, I don't know whether students have really understood the importance of training. They think that it's mandatory side. Anyway, we have to do that. Okay, let us listen to the seniors and whatever they say, let's do. And try to learn whatever coming in front of them. They are not taking interest to go and search and learn something. That I'm trying to say. So I think probably they will understand going forward. But the fundamental principle is whatever a student or any person in any professional course they learn during the training period, that will really lead them throughout their life till whether it is a practice or employment, because after that we don't get opportunity to learn anything.
Correct.
Okay, we won't get, because if you do any mistake you get notice, show of notice only. That's the question of learning there.
Yes.
So I always tell, even my MOSOP training also, I always tell, please you understand, this is the last 15 days the time you get time to get learned. Okay, means the learning ends by this. After that you can read and learn everything, but experimental you can't do.
Yes.
But till then you can do experimental. You can give wrong answer and try to learn also and get it clarified also. But once you join as a company secretary and take a CP and sign, there is no question of experimental, because the law, everything follows. The action, penal action follows for every action of ours. So it has to be very important during training. The students or trainees are really getting a grip of subject.
Okay, sir. So now that you told us about your training days, both in the PCS firm and in India Cements, did you immediately get into practice? What was your idea? How did you see the entire future of the career which is lying ahead of you?
No, actually, I told you, I was so. If you have to tell something, when I was doing final itself, people were more particularly, before telling anything, I have to tell this one. The Companies Act was so close to my heart. Okay, almost I can say that I loved Companies Act, that to 1956 Act, that level. While in student age itself, I'm saying. So in final examination itself, when I was attending classes in SARC, in our own institute, I attended classes where Mr. N.R. Sridharan was taking very nicely. He was taking, sir, is the best gem of Companies Act. So I was literally happy to say a student is no one today. So he was taking classes. That time, if you see that, I used to read final company law subject in Ramaya. I was keeping one Ramaya on single book, which I bought from second-hand shop, because those days we don't have that much money and all, no?
Yes.
So that too, we are, after doing so many courses, we are pursuing CS then. Okay, so already our deadline and all crossed. Okay.
Correct.
So in second-hand shop I bought one. That time we used to get Ramaya in 2 volume, two bigger books, exactly this size. This size it used to be. Even now I am keeping in my office. Okay, that I was reading during my student age, means my final examination. Everybody used to tell me when I was reading that, no, you should do, you are doing mistake. You should not read. I'm saying the students, friends and all used to tell. You don't read in Ramaya and all for examination. Unnecessarily you will get confused. You won't get passed and all. I said, no, I want to understand subject. Not that a passing examination, I want to read something. I wanted to know, suppose you say that 264 consent to act as director in 1956, I'm saying. I wanted to know what and all scope, why it is there. We should understand the premise why that provision has come. So for that matter, out of curiosity, I read in Ramaya. That helped me a lot. That's why I said from the time I started this CS course, I can't say that by accident. Of course, uh, before that I was in different field. Then I came into this by accident because there's no other way. I have to take up some good course which compensate my loss of the marine engineering. So I thought, okay, CS would really give a brighter future, that I am sure of it that time. So I took it. So what I'm trying to say, that time itself I was, I know that while doing CS, if law also we do, we can really do good to in advisory side, consultancy side. So since I was having so much interest on the subject, so my whole focus was on consultancy only. Means anything you ask, I'm ready to tell about it. On company side. On company side. Leave it all other times. Though I've done my 5-year law course, 35 law subjects I've read, those days, all that is that. Of course, I learned a lot. I could say that I learned a lot in CS course than a 5 years law course. That I can tell you also, because that's a fact. There's nothing to be on that. I learned a lot from CS. So what I'm trying to say, consultancy was my little, my craving, I have to say. But unfortunately, I couldn't, because as you say, I was telling you, we have crossed the age and doing some course, so I can't take a further more time to settle. So I have to go for an employment. So I've gone for employment for 3 years. I've gone for employment. 3-4 years I've gone for employment in 3 companies. Somehow I couldn't settle in a company because my whole it was boggling in my mind that we are not for this. We are for consultancy. We are for advice only. We are not for a company to serve in a company. Particularly what is given to us, that we are here to advise, we are here to learn many things and give advice to many people or many companies.
Correct.
So that always keep lingering in my mind. That so fortunately that happened in the year 2006 beginning. Till then I was in employment only.
Okay, sir. So, so you are telling some very interesting stories, because whoever is watching it, they'll feel, seeing the success of a person like you, that everything was very smooth and everything you did it in the first time and all. But like you said, there was different hurdles, but you kept working hard, and that is the reason why we have achieved so many things. Sir, now that you have told us about your personal journey and how you got into practice and all, so can you tell us what are the different areas which company secretary can practice in, especially considering next 5 to 10 years horizon when we look at it? Because like you said earlier in the interview, our profession has grown quite a lot from the last 20-25 years especially. So how do you see it next 5 to 10 years, what all we can do as practicing CS and CS profession as a whole?
Sir, what I have to say, Mr. Alok, the time that we have to compare from 1995 or even 2000, the time which I was on the verge of taking membership. See, for comparing to year 2000 to today, we are in 2021. I have to say there's a sea change, I have to say.
Correct.
In the practice side or even the entire CS course itself, I can say. I never felt that I took some course which we could not do anything. No, we can do a lot more in this actually. Actually speaking, that as CS, if someone is not able to really do better, they are not exploring anything better. It's not that the course or it's not that the profession that is not giving unfolding anything. No, it's not so. In fact, the person is not unfolding anything. I could say that the practice side is so bright, and also the employment, no doubt at all. The employment side also. In fact, if you see any company for this matter, okay, whether it's a big company, India's #1 company, or any company for this matter, the board has to take advice of company secretary.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the privilege that a person gets. So that privilege, I don't think anybody says about. There are 10 lakh employees in company in bigger companies. Okay, and it is so difficult to reach board members.
Exactly.
At least to know who is board members. Okay, but here you see the law gives and one profession gives in hand that privilege by giving your effort and proving yourself, passing examination, getting a membership, that you are getting directly elevated to the level where we are giving our inputs and advice to the board of directors of the company, which I don't think anybody else is getting.
Yeah, there's no other profession.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
don't think any other profession get that is on an employment side. And practice side, I can say that neither the law stops you or the profession stops you, as long as you are able to prove, and it is permitted under law, that really we can prove ourselves and do many other things. In fact, in my case, if you see, I was telling that I was taking care of all company, secretarial matters, and apart from secretarial matter, from day one, I'm involving myself in legal advices, giving legal opinion. In fact, most of my time I spend on legal opinion. In fact, I have to say I have got a good team with me and a bigger team, where since they are trained now, my team, qualified team, so they take care of many of the routine matters in Companies Act and secretarial matters. So few people who are senior in the firm, we focus on the legal side of the corporate, corporate legal side, where appearing, NCLT matters, and we handle number of schemes. So what I'm trying to say, company secretary, we should not restrict to filing alone. I'm saying we should not think that we are only cut out for filing, we are only cut out for understanding the Companies Act alone. It's not so. In fact, the law also gives lots of avenues to us, and even institutes also getting lot of recognition today, and every state government is separately giving a recognition. Recently, one of the university has recognized that the CS is a PG for doing the doctorate. So like we keep getting lot of recognition actually today, and in fact, no one stops. Even institute, I'm saying, they say that you don't do anything other than Companies Act matter. No, because there's a list very specifically provided what a company secretary could practice. But it's very clearly written, and it never stops you restrict only this particular. So as long as we are competent, that's very important. That is the one word that I always follow. If I involve, I should be competent in that. I don't involve myself if I'm not competent. If I have to involve, I should make I'm competent to handle it, then involve. Otherwise, let me not touch. That's why even now, though I have fortunately with God grace, I have a big team, but I never get into any kind of different kind of filing, this, that. But I'm saying different filing is in GST filing, income tax filing. I don't get into that. Though that could be learned and can be done also. It's not that something cannot be done. See, that's what CES is, a platform that gives an opportunity for you to learn and upgrade yourself. Okay. After that, sky is the limit where to upgrade and how to go. There are so many business entrepreneurs, business aids are there, CES, who is running the bigger companies and even banks. So it is CES course is a platform. From there, how much you are flying high, that's only in the hands of the person who is getting qualified.
How high you fly depends on the person who is qualified and how they use it. And the interesting thing you told is about competence. So we should get ourselves and become competent. The opportunities are more, and that is the future which is there.
Yes, why I use that word, I'll just to complete, because when I was in employment, that only gave confidence. I would say that I won't say that employment I can spare. No, that experience, every experience is matter. I always tell even my employees, partners, or students also, every experience is matter. You don't think this is only simply this. No, don't think that way. Even stabling on agreement itself, you should know how to do that.
Yes.
I come across many professional friends asking that in stamp paper from where we have to take print. That's a basic thing, because they don't have experience of it. I can't say they are ignorant or they are not having knowledge. They may be having knowledge in other sides, or they may be expert in other areas. But even for taking printout in stamp paper, they get doubt, and they used to ask me. I'm saying professional, not even a layman or any other local person. I'm saying, normal person. Even a professional used to ask me from where we have to take. Right? You have to understand the purpose of stamp law. Stamp law is payment of stamp duty. That you have to pay a stamp duty through a stamp paper, you have to cancel it. If you have to cancel it, you have to type over it. That's the idea. And at the same time, you should not leave the entire thing empty and put the line at the end of the stamp paper, because you are giving empty. Okay, so that should not be permitted, because that can be misused. So these are the common sense and logic of the law will should make us understand, of the experience should make us to understand. So that's why I use the word competent. While I was in employment in 3 companies where I got a lot of opportunity to handle legal matters, court cases, legal matters, property matters, because I was in a construction group. So where I was given opportunity, in fact, I improved my skill in scrutiny of documents, title documents, I'm saying. If you give me, I will do a scrutiny of title documents in Tamil Nadu, I'm saying. I don't know about Maharashtra and other areas where it differs from state to state. But Tamil Nadu, at least I can try to see that what it is. My friends and all, somebody asks, I will tell them, okay, you do this way, that way. So that basic idea I gained from the company experience, same way handling legal. That only really gave the confidence. I have to say, doing secretarial matters, the 1 year training gave the confidence, really speaking. I know, without that training, if I had it been this training would not have been there, or if I would have gone a training in a company for 15 months, that time that option also was there. Probably I would not have got the interest in practice side. Since I was in a practice form, I was literally gained more interest. As it is, I was so enthusiastic in subject and learning subject and sharing subject. So having worked in a PCS form, that further developed interest in the practice side, actually speaking. So what I was trying to say, what we handle, that's so important for us to see that the rest of the life that we are really doing justice on whatever we are handling. So that today the students have to understand, whether they are going training or whether they are going for employment, please don't ignore that what you are doing is thanks for a job. No, not like that. Anything you are doing, that one point of time, that will be helpful in your life. Give your full heart and do whatever you do. It's okay for time being you're not doing anything related to secretarial matters, something else they are giving in the company. You try to understand that. So one day you will sit on the top as CFO or CEO. That time this knowledge will help you. Nobody knows where people will go to the height, right? Which height they will be going. So what I'm trying to say, only thing here, students should understand, or any person should understand, that learning is important, and whatever they handle, they have to see that what they are learning out of it, not monotonously doing it. So that's my really, with that premise only I always do things. Whatever I do, I want to learn, so that will be helpful in some point of time. We don't know when it will be helpful to us.
Sure, sir. Sir, next I wanted to ask you about your engagements with respect to giving different talks and writing books, because not many people do that. In fact, I met you when being one of the audience in Companies Act 2013 when it came. Not only you just told about the Companies Act, but you made it so interesting, with full of comedy, and made everyone understand. So how did you get interest in this? How do you manage your entire speech and speaking assignments and books? Because writing a book is quite a challenge, and you've written quite a few books. So can you tell about these two things?
I've written almost 10 books, law books, Companies Act, guide to Companies Act, about 3 versions, and guide to NCLT, and guide to insolvency and bankruptcy code, guide to private company. See, actually speaking, if you see the lecture side, I have to really thank my local SARC institute. Okay, because as I was keep referring that I am so enthusiastic in subject. So I was literally, when I was after membership, I keep going to the institute for one or other way. I keep going. That time the director was asking me that Dhanapal, why don't you take a oral coaching class and stop it? Then I said, will I get the Companies Act? No, Companies Act, somebody already people are taking, because I told you, that's very close to my heart, Companies Act that time. If you ask me entire section, I'll tell 1 to 658 and 658 to 1 reverse also. That level I was literally liking and
The 1956 Act.
yeah, 1956 Act. Today it's very difficult because it is like a Bible. It's coming. So it is very difficult. In fact, today if someone able to locate the provision itself, they are genius only.
Great.
We can't today reverse and undo. The forward reverse today is not possible because there's for every section there's every rule. Okay, for every rule there every set of forms are there. So very difficult. So of course today government felt probably after seeing so many issues happening in the corporate side, they felt it okay. They wanted to make it very explicit because 1956 only there was 658 section, not much. So and there's no rule also to verify anything. Any clarification we always go to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Only person who has handled only can answer it.
Correct.
To the situation. Today it is not so. Really, MCA has made it very transparent and very speaking. Anything you want, you can find it in the rule. If it is not their rule, they'll bring a rule. Don't please wait for some time. They'll bring a rule on that.
Yeah,
if
like recent CSR amendments like that.
Yeah, anything for this matter. I'm saying you can say. You tell me whether you can find it in the rule today. If you are going to say no, sir, today I couldn't find answer in the rule, then wait, it will come shortly. So that level is keep coming. One way it is good that everything is coming out in the paper so that anybody can go and understand. Not like earlier, only the senior people who are in the practice only can really advise out of their experience.
Correct.
Like that. So anybody can get into that. That's why many side people are coming for practice also. So what I was trying to say here, see, when you asked me that about this entire book writing and the lectures, when I was called for giving a lecture, I was asking Companies Act. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that time. Then they said, no, can you please handle? I know, Dhanapal, you are capable of handling this subject because others difficult. You are also a lawyer, means and you have a fair idea about legal side also because they have a good idea about me. So you can do it. What are the topic? Stamp Act, Society Registration Act, and the Trust Act, and one more act. I couldn't remember that time. So these 4 acts, which generally people don't take interest to handle it because very difficult to handle it. Stamp Act, very dry subject, and Trust Act is very dry subject. And even now, the act is not means we can't get a real idea about trust related laws. I'm saying even now there is no clarity on trust related laws. Okay, and Society Registration Act. So, but as a challenge, since I got a first opportunity as a matter of challenge, I said okay, I'll take. So I took that. I was doing for a few batches. That really gained, that improved my confidence. Okay, that I can really deliver for some time and also communicate, and I also make people to understand. So from there the whole exercise started. Then very many institutes started calling me for lectures. Then after many chambers and almost many places in Tamil Nadu and out of Tamil Nadu also many places, I started giving lecture, more particularly on Companies Act and FEMA and other related laws, whatever that. With respect to book, if you ask me that, I started writing the book only one premise when the LLP Act came in 2009. You remember, 2009 LLP Act came. So as you said, any law comes relating to us, I always want to gain knowledge of it. That attitude still continued. That's why insolvency law comes. Almost I made it. It's next to my Companies Act. Because I wanted to know what it is and want to gain experience out of it and want to learn what the subject out of it. Same way the register valuer course come. Okay, it's something related to us. Okay, let us gain knowledge out of it. So like that, when LLP Act 2009, when the Act came, I was literally trying to jot out the notes and tables for me to easy to understand. Actually, the whole practice started for this only. In LLP Act, I don't know whether you know that time, many people were, even professionals I'm saying, many professionals were literally feeling that LLP Act was so tough to understand.
Yes.
It was so tough to understand. Today, of course, now things are settled. and every professional has got a fair idea today. Everyone could understand because now practically things are also happening. But the time in 2009 Act came, LLP Act, people are so much confused, and some new concept has come, what it is. So literally, I was also thinking that some new concept has come, and let us try to understand. So I started writing write-ups kind of thing. So for that, I want to see that I am bringing out a table for that. So I want to make it very simple. My idea itself, if you can see any of my write-ups also, I always try to, I never enlarge or I never explain too much on something. No, I never try to do that. Whatever the law says, I always tried or attempted how to it can be given in a simple terminology so that everyone can understand. Why that simple terminology? That way only I can understand. Because I can't say something which the way I'm not understanding. Correct? So I don't want to project something more than what I am. Okay? So I always wanted to project what I am, and I wanted to project the same to others also. So the whole exercise started just to understand the law. The LLP Act, I wanted to understand what to do. Okay, let me put a chart, let me put a notes, let me see. Then after a fine time, I'm seeing a good amount of papers and inputs I've got. Then people suggested me. Okay, then I was keep writing article also, started writing that time. So people suggested me, why don't you come out with a small notes and book? Then I came out with the first book for LLP. The book name itself, with a lot of courage, I put LLP Made Easy. Those days, I don't know anybody used that Made Easy. Today, many people started using Made Easy.
Correct, because that time the book used to be called other books like handbook on LLP, compendium, like that.
Exactly.
That was the usual names, I remember.
It's a very thin book. I don't have a copy of it right now. Other books copy I'm keeping here. So very thin book, about 100, 150 page book. I named it as my first book, named it LLP Made Easy. So you see, so courage, I put it the heading LLP Made Easy, and I gave it for printing like a notes only. The thing. When I circulate, means when people, when they are seeing this notes, I can't say notes, it's like a small book.
Yes.
When they were sending, the entire book is chart only. They were saying, my God, the entire LLP Act you brought into the chart format. I said, no, that's how I understood the LLP Act. Because LLP Act, how I wanted to understand, I brought out a chart. So I thought the same thing I brought in the my write-ups, and same thing I brought in the book. So that continued. Then the same interest came in the Companies Act. Then I came out to the book for Companies Act. Then Insolvency Act came. Then came out to the book for Insolvency Act for guide. Then NCLT got constituted and introduced. Then came out to the separate guide to NCLT and NCLAT. And because I told you, whatever comes, related to our area, I'm saying, I always wanted to get grip of it, what it is. Let us understand what it is. We should not ask somebody else to what it is. We should not ask anybody else that what that topic or what that law deals with. We should be in a position as a company secretary. We should not see. We cannot give advice on how to operate the radar, how to do a surgery. That we cannot do. But how the insolvency could be handled for a corporate, how evaluation could be handled for the corporate, or how the complaints could be handled for the corporate, that we should be doing it. If we are not doing, who else can do that? Who else can be the competent then, as in terms of complaints, I'm saying. So I always take interest. Any subject comes, not that I have to come out with a book. No, it's not the idea. Idea is that let me understand. So same way the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, I dissected everything in a table format. If you come across my book also, you can see the book starts with tables only. The entire Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, the entire code would have been covered in table format itself. Some few pages, I'm saying 30, 40 pages. After that only the books start, then the matter will come, theoretical side will come. So that when somebody sees that, immediately they can appreciate or understand, okay, this is starting and this is the ending. Oh, the process is like this. Somebody want to understand, then they can go and read the rest of the thing. See, it's not that others to understand. This is how I understood the law. For me to understand, I put it that way. So it really made me to understand. I wanted to give to others. So that only improved. and many people encourage me that, okay, your books are so simple, why don't you keep writing? Then I started writing. Fortunately, with God grace, some 8, 9 books, law books so far I have authored. So I think due to Corona, this thing last 1 or 2 years only, I didn't take up any such exercise. Probably I have to soon start next editions for all the books.
Yes, sir. Sir, now you're telling us you're running a firm, you have 30, 40 people there. Then you're writing books, you're giving speeches, you have to advise top companies, and you're in touch with a lot of clients. So, how does your day look like, sir? Average. I know every day is different in practice because I'm also in practice. But generally, how does your day look like? In a day, what are the things that you do, and how does it take forward in one day?
In fact, I have to say that that's a usual question, Mr. Alok, you are putting now, but everybody else generally put this question, that how do you find time? You are taking a classes, it means you are giving a lecture, you are running a firm and you're writing books, particularly writing books. That's a so difficult exercise, actually speaking.
Yes.
Of course, fortunately, I got a team, they are helping me a lot. That's why I could able to do, particularly on the book side. And also, the firm, my partners are there, they are really supporting me. That's why I could able to manage all that. But above all, first of all, I would say that the time is only in the mind. Okay, if you make up your mind, you can give time. How much ever, see, what I'm saying, if a same person with the same flesh and bone and blood, who is heading the country, who could manage the entire thing. Okay, it's not that he has come from some different planet. Same person like you and me only heading the state. So you see, are we holding responsibility more than them? No. So they could able to spend time and do, and they could able to completely ensure that the entire thing goes right for the entire country and state. So what I'm saying, it's not the question of time. What we really give importance, we do that. Very simple. And the moment you gain interest on anything, you have time for it.
Yes.
As long as you don't gain interest on anything, you don't have time for that. That's a simple logic. So as long as, in fact, I gain interest in Companies Act, in CS profession, more particularly practice, and more particularly giving advices, right? More particularly giving lectures, and more particularly writing books. So I gain interest, I find time for that. So when you have interest, there's no question of finding time. We will be doing it actually.
Sir, now that you have been around for quite some time and you have been successful in many different things, what is your advice for youngsters? Like, what are 3, 4 qualities which you feel is required to be successful in practice?
See, basically, what I'm saying in practice side, particularly, see, I even keep telling my trainees who are who is in practice, or even as you said, the fresh company secretaries who are getting into practice. See, you don't target some timeline, don't fix some time, 1 year time or 2 year time. No, you don't do that. I always tell that just before also I shared you. You do something with the patient. Okay, even whether it's a practice or employment, whatever you do. Okay, you do it with the patient. Other things, rest of the things will follow automatically. You don't work, you don't target or you don't try to earn, don't do practice for earning, I'm saying. It won't happen that way. Do practice for your satisfaction. Do practice for your interest. The earning will automatically will come. So if the youngsters who are coming for practice or even the budding members, even if you go for employment also, nothing wrong. You show your entire interest over it. You see that you are coming in the top in the position. Whatever you do, you try to be top in that, whether you are in employment or practice. There is no question that let us give a try. No, when you are getting in that, you have to top on that, whether it's in employment or practice. So the youngsters, what they have to feel that only. I started our session itself saying that there is no alternate to hard work. There is no alternate to hard work. Whether it is a studies, passing examination, that applicable for practice also. So what I am saying that don't try to don't try to settle so quickly in something, whether it is a practice or employment. Don't try to settle something quickly, because how quickly you settle, possibilities are so quickly to get unsettled.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the logic. It's a science that we can't, anything you see, any quickly you do something, it quickly vanish. That have that nature actually. Okay, same way, suppose something you earn over a period of time. Okay, that's why people always, the elders say, you study and do education, that will help you a lot, because you, over a period of time you are doing it. That cannot be acquired by one person in one day. I'll tell you rather, maybe exaggerating, but that's a fact. I'm saying even our Tamil Tirukkural itself is saying, see, anything can be taken out from a person. You give a property, okay, you give anything, you give any wealth to him, somebody can misguide him and take away. And today, many companies are coming in insolvency. Need not to be only on the fault of the management, right? So management may also got misguided, would have got misguided. So the wealth is not helping them at end of the day. So end of the day, what is helping them is the education, because that cannot be taken away. That's why always the elders say that, you have property, you have anything else in your life, that's not going to help you. Anyway, you can enjoy, you can live a luxurious life or whatever, you can happy life, whatever you feel it, but may not be permanent, because that is not assured of actually. It is not assured. It can be taken out, situation may come, anything may happen, but if we are educated, our death alone will be the situation where it can take away. There could not be any situation that can take away anything from us.
True.
Right? So that I always say that the practicing professional should keep it in mind. Please don't fix any short target that let us try to achieve. No, please, you just practice. Put your full interest in the practice. Try to learn more. As I was telling, try to be competent whatever you are doing. Even now, though I am handling legal matters, I never get into any civil matters, criminal matter. I never get into any matter other than corporate matter, because I am not competent. Whatever I deal with, I should be in a position to advise my client, or at least I should be in a position to decide which is good and which is not good for the client.
Correct.
So that I can advise my client accordingly. So otherwise, we should not get into that. We should send them to the concerned person who is having a better knowledge than
Expert
us.
knowledge, kind of. Sir, now that you told so much about hard work, then keep trying and keep working hard, and definitely you get the results. This is about the core technical skills. But what is, in your view, the soft skills? What kind of soft skills is required along with the core company law knowledge, FEMA, and the legal knowledge? That is for granted. I mean, we have to work hard and get there. But what are the soft skills which you would suggest?
See, soft skills, I always say that I'm in employment. So that means as a CS, I'm in employment. As a CS, I'm in practice. I'm doing it, my practice, doing my employment. Means whatever the responsibility is given, I'm doing it. My family, I'm taking care. That's sufficient. No, that should not be the way one can grow. One person, you can live, but you can't grow.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah, that will ensure that you are living your life. Okay, that you are going for employment and getting a salary and taking care of your family. Same way you are practicing and doing some service, rendering some service and advices, and that will take care of your routine life and take care of your family. But you can't grow, you can live. If you have to grow, you don't restrict only to that. We have to try to expand our knowledge base and expand our skill. That's why I'm saying, no, I'm not telling anything which I'm not doing. I always say that, in fact, I motivate my own partners and even trainees and employees also. If you get a chance, you give a talk. You talk on that particular topic. Even in our offices, we always, once in a week, we ask one particular trainees or employee to give a lecture on latest amendments. So you have to talk. Once you start doing something only, you can develop on that. It won't happen in one day. In fact, for me to spontaneously to talk on the subject, I had to spend almost 3 to 4 years after giving 50, 60 lectures that I was comfortable in giving some lectures. So it won't happen in one day. Like that, anything for this matter, just for doing employment or doing practice and feeling ourselves happy. Okay, you can live happy life. Probably you may feel that okay, we have done it, but that's not the that won't really uh, take a person to the height
Next
where
level.
really where really one can go. So for that, what we have to do, apart from that, we should also see something else which we can improve. Means soft skills. See, computer knowledge is a basic skill that you know that. I'm not talking about that at all. Suppose you can, if you want to improve your knowledge on intellectual property, you can try to improve on that. Suppose you get time. See what I'm saying. Suppose somebody comes for practice now, immediately after qualifying, getting a membership, someone comes practice. Okay, I would suggest that okay, you are in practice. You don't spend time or don't wait when in any company law matters comes up. Let us try to explore or let us try to do. Till then, let's wait and let's enjoy. No, it's not like that. See, if you're not getting Companies Act, see some you get any exposure in FEMA. Start reading something on FEMA or some other, or even Companies Act, any changes or any other laws that could be handled there. Suppose you get assignment on that, you can try to handle that assignment also. Don't restrict that, okay, let us restrict ourselves in ROC filing. Let us restrict ourselves only in advice in Companies Act. No, in fact, you see the CS course, enormous they are teaching. Okay, so if a person get an opportunity to handle that, nothing wrong in handling that and gaining some knowledge. See what I'm saying, there should be something core, like how I'm saying my core practice is company secretary. But at the same time, I'm also insolvency professional and acting as a liquidator in two companies, and also keep giving lots of advices in insolvency matters. Many of my clients, they are taking my advices, and many other people are approaching me for advices. So I don't restrict myself into. This is how we have to. What I'm think that should be proper to one person who want to really grow, because I want to grow. So that's why I keep suggesting to others also that don't restrict yourself in that particular thing, but try to make yourself competent and try to expand your base and see that we are giving solution to the conflicts.
So talking about growth, do you see that company secretary profession can have global opportunities? Can we go beyond India? What are the views which you have about this?
See, so the question here is that company secretary, it's not that they should be restricted to India. See, no profession should be restricted to India, first of all, because everywhere there is a human being. Everywhere the concept, the company means a profit. If it is a non-corporate, then it is for charitable. The concept is one and the same. The provisions alone is changing. Probably the culture of the country and atmosphere of the country alone is changed. In fact, easily we can. That's why we have a London CS also. By writing some 4 subjects, we can also get a membership of London. The reason being that the concept is same. So the only thing is, are we getting enough opportunity or infrastructure for us to go and travel and settle there? That's more important. In competent wise, I won't say that we need a separate competency to handle, any other laws or any other country. As long as we are able to understand the law and become competent in that law, we can do that. So there's nothing that we have to restrict ourselves only in India. But only thing is, we have to be competent, we have to be knowledgeable, we should see that we are really, learning the subject exactly what is there in the, law book, or what is there in the writings. So once you are able to do that and absorb anything, then you can do the same thing other laws also, and also gain experience there, handle it, and do. So only thing is we have to see how the opportunity can be created there. Even you see any other profession, you see even chartered accountancy, they are doing. In fact, their charter secretary is there. I think some other course they are doing, outside India, I'm saying. And if they come here and they have to write some subjects to gain the local, our Indian charter accountancy, like that. In every course there is a opportunity. There's a different course is there. like we have a London CS. So we need not to restrict. Only thing what I'm saying, we have to improve. If you see that I happen to travel to Dubai for one legal matters, just to represent my client. So I was literally encountering, or I was literally representing before one Dubai advocate one time, and one time Singapore advocate. I don't know anything about that, but I know what basically is okay for a contract. Basically, the dispute arises from contract. So I know what Indian law says on contract and what is the right of my client. That sufficient for us to go and do anything. Same day case for them also to come in. So what I'm saying, understanding the laws and gaining experience is more important than restricting ourselves into the jurisdiction or territory. We need not to restrict ourselves into territory. If the knowledge is wide, you can really go out of the territory.
Yes, sir. I think you have really said that really well. Amazing example also you gave. So you have spent quite some time with us, and every word you have said has been very inspiring, and also you have been very honest and very practical in your entire experience which you have shared, and you have been very open about what were the failures which you had, how did you work hard. All that was very amazing. So finally, what is the final message you would like to give? Because a lot of our audience are actually students. We have audience who are practicing CS or working, but majority are students. So what message you want to give them?
See, I would say that it is I would say the course, CS course is a blessing, particularly a person if they are in a family, a mediocre family. I can say mediocre family, okay? So particularly a person from a very uh, uh, kind of a economically backward family or mediocre family, and CS course is a blessing. In fact, if at all, if someone asks me that what you will make your child, I will make my child CS only. I will suggest them. Then after that, they're into that different. But I will tell them, why don't you try this? If at all you can do better than this okay, well and good. I won't stop you. Or but if you want me to suggest something, I will say, why don't you do this? Yes. So what I am trying to say here, whether it is a mediocre family or any family which is economically, it is a blessing for them that there's some course which we could not get after spending so many lakhs and crores of spending money and gaining that qualification, which they could not earn, which without spending not even a lakh, I am saying, not even a lakh we are spending. But here the law gives us and the institute gives us an opportunity. What they only look for, only your skill. What they look is only your skill and your hard work to read, study the subject and pass the exam. In fact, I will tell you that to particularly a person like me, I won't say that I belong to some well-settled family and all. I'm a very mediocre family only. So it was a blessing for me. Such a course like CS was there, so I could able to come up to this level. Otherwise, by spending money and all, nothing could have been done. I would have been some different employment, an accountant or some clerk level only. I would have been there. So it is a real blessing that a student should appreciate that we have got a professional course which expects only one thing from you is your hard work, not the money. Money is very peanuts today. Today you go to the mall or you go, just give one trip, you are spending 30,000, 40,000. Just with one trip I'm saying. Okay. So money is nothing comparing to the advantage that the future that the course is giving today. For just giving one visit to the mall, our families are spending 5,000 rupees. Leave today, Corona, I'm saying before Corona. Just one visit, our families are spending 5,000 rupees in the mall, right? So you see, with the multiples of some 5,000, we are able to get a future itself. Yeah. What all it needs is only hard work, nothing else. That's a golden opportunity that everyone is having as a student, and they have to really make it useful, and don't lose your heart just by giving attempt. I always allow my trainees to give up. I never allow. As long as you are in employment, you are writing it. I can even say that one of my staff who is working with me more than 17 years still is writing. I won't say that it's a proud to say that still he is writing. He has got that interest. almost only one group is left out. Once he finishes that group, he is going to be a CS. But you see that 17 years he is doing. 7 years he is with me and he is doing CS also. So it's not, the failure is not that, I would say that failure is not falling down. Failure is not rising up. Okay, falling down, it happened to everyone. Whether it's a CS or anybody for this matter, without falling down, no one will come out, or no one can come out. So only thing is what I'm saying that I know so many persons who passed CS after 10-15 years struggle. Now they are living a happy life and settled their life. Okay? So as a student, only one thing you have to understand, that don't give up, whatever it may be. You give attempt and you go, be confident that you will be a CS. That's all. When you will be a CS, that you leave it to the fate. Give your effort. That's what the Bhagavad Gita also says. Do your duty, leave the result to dignity. Doing your duty is studying. Okay, don't decide anything. Don't jump and come to the conclusion, enough, this thing is over. No, it's not over at all. Till you get your result, nothing is over. So till you get a result, please be patient, and just, you won't know that with your past experience, surprisingly you'll be passing one time which you never expected at that time. It happened many times, people used to tell. So this time I never thought I would clear. Because he gained experience by writing few times. That knowledge will really help you. You don't know subconscious mind how it brings up suddenly one particular information that you need. Okay, even something you read 1 week before examination, it won't come to your mind. But something you read, which is there in your subconscious mind year back, that will come up. We don't know when it will come up. So please don't lose your heart. Just write exam till you pass, and be confident and be bold that the moment you are joining CS, you ensure you are coming out as a CS. There is no other goal. After that, you do so many other things. But that's different. But don't accept your failure and drop CS, because that's, again, I will say, it will be a scratch in your painting, because your life all about what you are achieving. So something you take up, don't give it up. If you start giving it up, your subconscious mind will say that, okay, this fellow will not do anything. The whole life you will keep giving it up only, whatever you do it. So don't think that we are giving it up only CS. No, you are giving it up something, everything in life. So don't give it up. Having become a CS student, should see that you are coming out as a CS student and prove yourself. Don't the world. I'm not telling you, you prove to a world. Please prove yourself that you are capable of doing the decision, whatever you are taking a decision, that you can prove that is possible to make it. Okay.
Great, sir. So CS is a blessing. Please work hard. There's a great future ahead. That is the clear message from our guest today, that is CS Dhanapal sir, on the world of company secretaries. And it was really wonderful to listen to him, and especially the last part, the message which he has given everyone, especially people who are pursuing the course. In fact, that message is not just for students. That message is so wonderful that even for professionals or for anyone for that matter, keep trying, keep working hard, and whatever you have studied, whatever you have done will come back to you as a benefit sometime in future. And he gave so many examples from his personal life. And from the time when he took marine engineering, something totally unconnected, you can't think about it, then CS, then LLB, then his days in the training, then India Cements. Amazing stories we heard, and lot of inspiring stuff today we got from our guest. Sir, thanks a lot for coming on our show, The World of Company Secretaries. We really look forward for having more discussions with you, which will inspire not only students, but members of the CS profession.
Always.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Alok.
Thank you. So that was CS Dhanapal. For more such episodes, please do subscribe to our channel and watch The World of Company Secretaries. We also have shorter clips of the interviews on a new channel called The World of Company Secretaries. So make sure you go to the description box and you can subscribe to us, and you'll be getting wonderful feedback from great guests which will inspire you in your journey. Thank you very much, and all the best to you.